will not be requiring any efforts to do the marketing. We were not having that much of revenues from that stream from 2020 to 24. But now in the coming years, that revenues will also multiply. In total, if we talk about, we have applied for 9 patents, after which 3 have been granted. Paints, we did it with Asian Paints. With Coca-Cola, we did for beverages. And now the idea is to go in for a build, own, operate kind of a model. The total investment which we are planning in coming 3 to 4 years is 2,500 crores.
Don't mind me asking, but for a company that has 20 lakhs of cash in their books as of September quarter, 2,500 crore Capex seems, in one word, unreasonable, I would say. Taylormade Renewables Ltd. It's a 300 crore market cap company. We have with us the first generation promoter himself. And today we will be talking about the business. Mainly, they've got 2 segments. One is the traditional business, where they were primarily into solar concentrators, solar stoves, solar dryers. And now, since the last 4 years, they have innovated, got patents to treat hazardous water. So they have created the technology and to treat hazardous water. It can be sugary drinks, salty drinks, all type of waste that's coming from chemical factories. And they have one of a kind of a technology for several industries like chemical industry, paints, whether it be pharmaceuticals. So today we have with us Mr. Dharmendra. So thank you very much for having us here. And welcome to the show.
Yeah.
So firstly, let's talk about what's giving you revenues at the moment. Okay, your financials have been looking bleak recently. So let's talk about the traditional business first. Then secondly, I will come to the wastewater treatment and the new technology that you have got patent for. So can you explain what are the raw materials that you procure? What do you manufacture? And what do you finally supply in the traditional business?
Yeah. So if we talk about the solar thermal business, okay, right now if you understand that the world is running for net zero emissions, everybody is talking about net zero emissions. Even India also wants to do the same, wherein Narendra Modi ji, the Prime PMO office has, granted around 32,000 crores to Indian Oil and NTPC to do these net zero emissions. And to do this, if you see the photovoltaic side is already active, but only the solar thermal side, which is an 85% share of the total energy required for any manufacturing or households or anything. Even if you see in this room, the maximum load is the air conditioning load. So that is solar thermal, the thermal energy. So to do that, what we did is we developed a larger dish, which is a 92 square meter dish compared to the smaller dishes which we were making before. Since 2010 to 2023, we are making the smaller dish. Now we have the IOCL tie-up, where this manufacturing of this large pella will be done, and the first plant is being installed at the lube oil division of Indian Oil. So once this is done, we will not be requiring any efforts to do the marketing, but we will be the industrial partner of IOCL. So that brings in the huge revenues. Before that, we were more into these, like solar thermal applications, into air conditioning, into cooking, installing it at the gurudwaras, at the larger religious institutions. Now we have installed a couple of systems into IOCL canteens also.
Okay.
So that also is a net zero emission kind of an application. So in last 6 months, okay, the things have changed for solar thermal side. We were not having that much of revenues from that stream from 2020 to 24. But now in the coming years, that revenues will also multiply. And multiply into a very larger amount, because when IOCL is your industrial partner, you can understand the kind of revenues which will be generated.
Understood.
And the net zero emissions. Now coming to the hazardous wastewater. So if you understand what is hazardous wastewater
So before we move on this second segment, so viewers get clarity. Basically, is it true that you procure these photovoltaic cells?
No, 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 no. The basic raw material for this technology is the mirrors
Okay.
and the structures
Okay.
and the automation. So these are the three major portion of this technology,
Okay.
where the software or the, because if you tracking a sun is a very difficult task. It is not that easy. Every day, every minute, every second, sun is at a different location. So the technology is to track the sun, grab all the thermal energy which is there in the sun, and concentrate onto a receiver.
Understood. Okay.
So now this receiver, whatever media you put, suppose you're putting in water, so it can be at hot water or it can be steam. It can be heating thermic fluid also. It can be, heating of, say, hot air. So any thermal application or wherever you find the boilers, you can replace that boilers or you can give your energy to that boiler so that that much amount of fuel can be saved.
Okay. Okay.
So that is where the net zero emission. So now what you are using the natural resources and trying to curtail your fossil fuels. So that is the basic concept of this.
Okay.
And everything 100% is indigenized.
Got it.
All the software, all the automation and everything has been inbuilt or designed into our own premises. And we are not dependent on this technology with any company.
Okay.
So it's 100% our own.
Okay.
Our own designs, our own technology, our own jigs. And that is why we were selected by IOCL.
Okay.
If you see the total 70% plus of the total installations done in India are done by Taylormade.
Of what? Installations of
So
this
20,000 square meter of area has been installed in India. And in my competition, there was Thermax, Probes and Marshall, and large companies. They were there when we were doing business. Okay, we are talking about from 2010 to 2020. Even at that time, see, like the largest cooking system, if we talk about, is in Roorkee, at IIT Roorkee. All the students and the staff are eating food on our technology since last 7 years.
Okay.
Okay, so that is a very prestigious installation where everybody wants to go and see that, okay, 5,500 kids eating on solar energy, so where there is no flame, but you are able to cook food.
Understood.
Yeah. So that is why all these applications, then cooking applications which are done into all the PSUs and the private sector will be taking our technology.
Okay.
So then the food will be also cooked by the same energy. You can generate power.
Okay.
Now, what is the difference between a photovoltaic and solar thermal?
Yes, yes, yes.
So if you see, the photovoltaic efficiencies are 16 to 18%, and here we are talking about 65% plus. So it is almost 4 to 5 times the energy which you get onto a square meter of area where the sun is falling.
Okay.
So solar thermal is quite energy efficient, you can say. Lot of things can be done, but as it is not a plug and play technology, there are no players. You require a lot of R&D, you require a lot of experience, and only selling is not the important thing. You need to see that your systems work properly. So you should have the servicing portion, you should have after sales, you should have everything. So we have a complete team, and now it is onto an autonomous mode. So like it will get manufactured. We have jigs, we have parabolic dish even for the smaller dishes. We have the jigs and everything. So now that business is onto the autonomous mode. We don't require to put in anything, and that will go on.
Okay.
So now that business will go on multiplying as IOCL becomes your partner.
Understood. So, sir, to summarize, you've got these solar thermal
Mirrors.
mirrors that absorbs the sunlight.
No, it does not absorb.
Okay.
It reflects.
Okay, reflects the sunlight.
The difference, I'll tell you, just to, it can be edited, not an issue. The basic concept of photovoltaic is to absorbing the light and converting into a power or into ions and cations, and then it is converted to power. In our case, it reflects and concentrates onto one source where your sun is multiplied more than 200 times. Okay, that is how your temperature increases. So here the temperatures can go up to 1500 degrees centigrade. onto the focus where you can do wonders with it.
Okay.
You can do any thermal application with this kind of energy which you have onto the receiver.
Okay. So you've got this cone of reflective material that
Right.
focuses energy onto one point, and this energy is then used for boiling applications, whether it is
for any
in
heating application.
whether it's in the boiling plant of
Even solar air conditioning
Okay.
is also done by the same energy.
All right.
We're using a vapor absorption machine which uses a lithium bromide cycle. So there the heat is used.
So now on to the second part, which is more interesting, I would say, from investor perspective. Onto that. So from what I understand, we can use the technology that you have patented to purify effluent wastewater. Okay, wastewater in terms of whether it is a chemical water, whether it is sugary drink that is expired or salt water that's expired, into 100% pure or some kind of usable water through your technology and systems.
Yeah. So if we see since last 30-35 years, we are using certain technologies
Okay.
which we call it to use for zero liquid discharge. The world is going for zero liquid now.
Yeah.
Because the usable water is decreasing, and the cost of treating seawater or desalination is quite costly.
Okay.
So Taylormade into 2020, when this market of solar thermal was little bit dim, and so we started thinking about diversifying into some technology. So we found out that there is a huge demand of a technology which can treat the waters from, say, pesticides where there are no solution, APIs, activated pharma ingredients, which we call it.
Yeah.
They do not have any solutions. Then we talk about sugary waters.
Yeah.
Even when we manufacture ethanol, the spent wash which comes out
Yeah.
requires to be treated. So at that certain applications into dye intermediates also, there was no technology which can treat that water.
Okay.
If you see before maybe a decade or so, everything was coming from China, European countries, America. All the dye intermediates or the APIs and everything were imported. Now they are dumped into Ankleshwar, Dahej, Saikha, and the industrial towns of India. Okay.
Yeah.
The reason is because they do not have any solution. So we thought that why not to improve the conventional technologies or remove the problematic part. So we started working on it, and we developed a technology called TRL Rain. We patented it, and we removed all the existing problems of that industry.
Understood.
Okay. So if we talk about the technology, it was a forced circulation with tubes and everything. So without compromising onto any surface area, without compromising on any vacuum or the temperatures and other things, we evaporated water at a low temperature, and we were able to do something which was not done ever in the world.
Wow. Okay.
So the thermodynamics of the total evaporation, whatever we have learned into chemical engineering, this was something different. So we evaporated water at 65 degrees centigrade. So there was a little bit of scaling or no scaling. We removed the tubes. No CIPs. See, if I just give you an example of my first plant, which was installed at Nilicon Foods and Colors Limited, which is in Roha. Since last 5 years, my plant is working without any CIP. CIP is cleaning in process. Every time, every couple of days or weeks, you need to clean the existing technologies. Here, we don't require to do that. So your production is never down. In 5 years, not a single day, 24/7, 365 days, my plant is working. Okay, so that is a proof that this technology is doing wonders.
Okay.
So now what we did is we started working with different applications. Say like with paints, we did it with Asian Paints. For phenolic kind of dye intermediates, we did it with Deepak Phenolics.
Yeah.
With Coca-Cola, we did it for beverages, which was best before date kind of beverages, which comes back after their shelf life is over.
Yeah.
So that we did it. For PI industry, we did it for pesticides.
Okay.
For dye intermediates, we did it with lot many small industries where we learned the thing, and now the idea is to go in for a build, own, operate kind of a model.
Okay.
So what we are trying to do here is that, if you sell a plant, it is a one-time revenue to the company, or you can get something after sales service or something like that. And Why? Because the operational cost is saved drastically for the industry if I sell them. Okay. So you have a market, but you don't make that much of revenues because you're always compared with the existing technologies. Okay. So what we said is, why not to put our own facility where we own the plant, we own the land, and we we operate the plant, run their distillation, and concentrate and send the sludge to the landfilling site, and the water can be reused by the industry.
Okay.
So here, like the catch here is that the revenue or the ROI of such plants are very good, because the operating cost, if we take, is around 2 odd rupees, which takes care of everything
Per liter.
per liter. And if you see the revenues or the conventional cost are in the ranging from 5 rupees 50 paisa to 22 rupees, depending upon the kind of effluent. But for us, because the technology is such that we can bring down our cost to around 2 odd rupees, so the difference is quite good for the company. The revenues are quite good. The ROIs can be less than 2 years, and the life of the plants can be more than 25 years. So it's a win-win situation for the company because of this technology that can bring in revenues, And the other technologies also, in total, if we talk about, we have applied for 9 patents, after which 3 have been granted. Second one is similar, which is a solvent recovery plant. The government notification says that any solvent recovery plant should recover 97% of the solvents. It is a notification, and every industry has to follow it from the NGT and pollution control boards. But none of the plant existing in the world, I'm talking about, not even a tabletop model has been developed, which I'm going to talk to you. There, they can hardly achieve 85 to 88% on the best of the technologies available. Okay. The operational cost is also quite high. In our case, the operation cost is 1/20th.
Okay.
1/20th. So now the 5 rupees goes to 20 paisa. Okay. And you are able to recover 99.99% of the solvents. Keeping operation cost aside, because the cost of solvents which is going into the atmosphere, any solvent, if you see the lowest prices are 50, 60 rupees to maybe thousands of rupees per liter of solvent is the cost that you can save. So that technology can also bring in quite a huge revenue, because we have not started talking about this technology yet. Reason being that first we want to prove our BOO plant, step 1. Then we go in next step. The same solvent recovery plant can be installed at the same facility of build own operate, because it's again effluent with solvent, the impurities and water. So if you get such an effluent which has a lot of solvents in it, you can remove and you can sell it, or you can recover it.
Okay.
So that is also one revenue model which will be added to our build own operate.
Okay.
This patent, we are not going to sell it, because every pharma company at every floor, they have a solvent recovery plant. So the market is quite huge, but they are all small, tiny plants.
And plus efficiency is not much.
Yeah. So what we thought was, it is better to sell it to a multinational company, say suppose BASF or maybe DuPont, or where they understand the value of this kind of a patent. We will be also licensing this patent of solvent recovery to few of the big plant manufacturers. Things are going on, so that can also bring a revenue to the company. And the third patent which we got is the master of all. Okay, is a manufacturing of sugar, or improving the manufacturing of sugar, wherein 80% of the sugarcane juice will be concentrated by a cold suppression technology. So the cost, which was 101 rupees 10 paisa or 1 rupees 20 paisa per liter of evaporation of sugarcane juice, will come down to 10 paisa. So 1/10 is the cost of that suppression. 80% of the water will be reutilized into the process. So till that, it was never done. It was to be treated again. And the third thing, no chemicals used. The fourth thing, that you get one quality of sugar. Fifth thing, you are increasing the yield of your sugar. How? because the current process has 5 different evaporators. The current process, like has a lot of chemicals putting in. So all these things will be removed, and the process takes a longer time. So when the longer time, if you remember, your parents would be saying that fatafat, you drink the sugarcane juice, otherwise the reversal process starts, because the real sugar which is there, converts to sucrose. So your sugar manufacturing process has less sugar because of the long time of the process.
Understood.
So once you stop or once you speed up the whole process, your yield of the sugar increases into the production.
Okay.
So here the sugar production increases by 8 to 10%.
Okay.
It took us 2 years to prove to the world about this technology to the patent authorities, because it was not that easy that some process which is 100 years old, you're not being a sugar technologist, you do not have that much of experience into sugar, how you got this idea or how you did this.
Yeah.
So these are the 3 patents already we have now, and the rest of the 6 are under pipeline. We can talk it later, because once they are done.
Sure.
But these 3 things will bring in the real revenues, because we are now already registered with National Sugar Technologies Association, which is there in Delhi. Those who are providing the technology know-how or the advisory to 130 odd countries. So we have already have some appointments next week. So once we meet, that process will also roll on. But the big thing is the build on operate plant, which will bring in huge revenues. If you see, like if we have, once we have 2 plants, once we have 2 plants installed with an investment around 400 odd crores, that will fuel all the other plants which will be coming up. That are the kind of revenues which will come in, and we will be going on multiplying, where every quarter a plant can be increased. That kind of profitabilities are there, the return on investments are there.
Okay.
So that is the main thing.
Understood. So in this second division, which is wastewater treatment, you talked about 3 different patents that you're focusing on and the commercialization of those.
Right.
One is this wastewater treatment, RAIN, and second is the solvent recycling technology, where you are able to recycle it by 99%. And third is to improve the yield of sugar companies using your technology, where yield increases by 10% and with much lesser cost. And you're saying that you're the only player in the world with this technology?
All the 3 technologies are first time in the world.
First time in the world?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's talk about the first one, which you said is the major revenue growth going forward. So the other 2, because of constraint of time, I'll put on pause.
I can understand.
The first one, you said build, own and operate. Let me make a statement, then I'll tell you, then I'll frame a question. I don't think chemical companies or paints company, especially MNCs, would be comfortable with you having them sending you the chemicals, you doing it in-house, then you taking care of it. Wouldn't they want that technology in their place and pay one time? Second, if you are putting it in your place, on your books, on your land, firstly, do you have the land? And secondly, what is the cost of putting up their entire setup, like evaporators and condensers? So, sir, 2 questions basically. What is going to be the MNCs? How is going to be their approach?
Okay, so now I'll tell you the experience which we have talking to few of the guys. Okay, every company right now, those who have a production facility, has a facility of treating their water.
Okay.
So that is already a zero liquid discharge.
Okay.
Now, the conventional technologies which are installed, they do not perform well.
Okay.
And always they have to send their water outside for getting it treated.
Okay.
Because the production cannot suffer, because their plant or the technology is not operable or has some inherent problems. So that thing is already being done by this industry. And one thing which we heard from the bosses is that our work is to do the production activities. We are least concerned. We want to get rid of this water, which the conventional technologies are not able to do it.
Okay.
So that way we have confirmed we have located 17 different places in Gujarat. The total investment which we are planning in coming 3 to 4 years is 2,500 crores for putting these 17 plants at different locations. Gujarat Industrial Development Corporation, GIDC, those who are owning these industrial areas, okay, are giving us an helping hand. Pollution control boards are also supporting us because these technologies now are a must. Because like the industry has to grow, the investments have to come. If we talk about a 5 trillion or 10 trillion kind of an economy, you're required to go in for production activities. So what we are doing is a need of an hour. It's not about something competing with someone. Here we have a niche market. We are targeting only the few companies where there are no solutions. Like say if we talk about PI, for the highly ammonical nitrogen kind of a water, there is no treatment with a high COD, high TDS. If we talk about pesticides, there was pesticide, sorry. If we talk about pharma, the APIs, they do not have any treatment. Anybody, if they feel that, okay, they can do it, I can challenge them. Okay, because that has not been done yet.
Okay.
We have multiple plants installed now for the similar application. If we talk about sugary water, Coca-Cola was, almost hard to, it was very hard for them to find a technology. Finally, like they are into a safe hands where we are giving them a solution.
Okay.
If we talk about Sabik, okay, where we did our trials and the things are under, the commercial negotiations are over. So it is about, pretty soon we should get something from Sabik also.
So that is Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia, yeah. So Aramco, Saudi Aramco, what we call it, yeah. So there the salty water, there is no technology. I'm talking about in the world. I'm not talking about in India right now. If we talk about spent caustic, the treatment cost is coming 45 rupees plus for treating 1 liter of water. Spent caustic, okay?
What caustic?
Spent caustic.
Okay.
See, normally caustics are used to clean the plant's evaporation and other things which are in use. To clean that, the whole process into the refineries, caustics are used.
Okay.
So that spent caustic are to be treated. And to certain refinery processes also caustics is used. So the spent caustic does not have any solution. So we gave them a solution. And there are so many other different applications like Belco, PTA water, high salty waters from amine process, salty water from the heating treating process. So these all waters requires to be treated, and where there is no solution. So we are targeting that kind of industry. We are not against any conventional technologies. We are not even going to the market which they have, okay, or the from the pollution control board. There is so if you want an EC, that is called environment clearance, you are required to have a multi-effect evaporator. We are not going even. We can be a solution provider to them, but we are not targeting them because we are more interested in to build and operate plants.
Understood. So for just stepping back a bit, you said 2,500 crore investment for 17 plants.
Yeah.
Do you own the land, or this 25 crore amount you mentioned includes the cost of acquiring that land?
Let's come to one plant. So that will make clear about 17 plants. Now one plant is with an investment of around 200 odd crores.
One plant, okay.
Yeah. And out of which 50-60 crores will be from the equity or from our own pockets or from the company, and rest would be the debt. But the best part of the whole process is that we will require just 500 odd crores to put up an investment of 2,500 odd crores. Because once we have two plants in operation, every quarter we can go on increasing the next plant. Because the margins which we require, okay, that two plants will be able to generate enough margins or enough profits that can finance the other plants. So with that, if you see the overall investment will be around 500 odd crores to go in for an investment of 2,500 crores. We have a ready-made project and everything ready. We have showed it to the government. They are also quite keen to move forward. Our first plant is coming up in Tarapur, which is an investment of 35 crores from our own pockets. We have not taken any loan, no debt, anything.
Okay. So, don't mind me asking, but for a company that has 20 lakhs of cash in their books as of September quarter, 2,500 crore capex seems, in one word, unreasonable, I would say.
No, what you say is right, and we also, when we started
Yeah,
sketching the whole project, we also was very skeptical about how we will be able to do it.
yeah,
But now, like we are coming up with a fundraise.
okay,
We have already given a disclosure to the BSC.
yeah,
Uh, it is in the tune of around 60 to 100 odd crores, which we are planning into the first phase to put up the first plant.
okay,
Rest is coming from the debt.
okay,
Okay, and the money which was stuck into our Andhra Pradesh project. Okay, you must be knowing we have a 235
yes,
crore kind of a work order where our 30 to 35 odd crores have been stuck, which will come by March end. We think that the revenue should, the money should come from the central to them, and that will come to us.
okay,
So,
okay,
if I was thinking in that way, I would not be able to do this. So we went and talked to the market. We talked to so many family offices. We talked to so many investors. And everybody right now is keen to see my Tarapur plant, which will be in operational by February end. So
okay,
in next 15-20 days, the first plant of 3 lakh liters, which will be treating PI water, Pesticides India, water. And once people see this, there may be lot of investors, those who want to come as an equity partner, if they can become our JV partner, they can become so many things. So every time if you see, we go step by step. In Taylormade, you will always find that, first we developed a technology, we patented it. Then we went to the ground to prove our technology. Then we have an infrastructure where we can make our people to sit. Now we are putting up our first plant from our own pocket. Okay, so that 35 crore kind of an investment, people will come, we will see that huge plant giving the results. Okay, and then you multiply it.
got it.
So instead of saying that, okay, 2500 crore, okay, that 25 crore has come with lot of thought process, lot of experience, lot of people those are involved. Okay, because if I say that, okay, it's my technology, no, it is our group, okay, or the team of people those who have worked hard. And till date, even day before yesterday, we have one more technology which we prove to the world about concentrating any chlorides. See, if you see this market which we are talking about, okay, this is quite new thing which I am talking. It may be first time you might be hearing onto the. Here, what we have developed is a path-breaking technology again. The cost of treating, maybe if you heard calcium chloride,
Yeah,
it's very easy term where everybody, everywhere it is being used, even into the paints, into foods, and everywhere. So making a calcium chloride from hydrochloric acid, you dilute it with salts or lime. Okay, that becomes a calcium chloride. Now you need to concentrate it. So there is a hell of a money which goes into concentrating. Normal cases, it may be more than 3 rupees, 4 rupees per kg of a kind of thing, which can be done in a rupee.
okay,
So this technology we will be selling it in bulk for the industries, because Tata Chemicals, even Aarti Drugs, they are very big players. Those who are manufacturing it in bulk, but at a very large cost, and this does not have that much of revenues from that. So if they are able to save few couple of rupees per kg, it's a huge amount onto the bottom line,
absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
So that technology we have proven now. There were all the trials, pilot trials have been done. Now it will be going for a patent.
Okay,
And then like we will be selling it to few of the people, those are already our customers.
okay, okay. So then, if you plan to get this new plant that is going to commence from Feb or March into a success, display that, then based on that, recognize revenues and profits to further invest, and over how many years are you planning this to? 2,500 crores? 5 years?
No, 3 to 4 years.
3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
So, with the model plant that you're currently doing, which is going to be operational, what revenues, what margins do you expect?
See, margins, I'll tell you that once you have something which is a gift of God, we can tell it, okay, or that thought process has come to you. though I'm not a chemical engineer, the process came to us maybe because you are a different human being. The Almighty is thinking that way. So what we think is that we should not mint money, we should make money. Okay. So we think that it would be giving us a revenue per liter maybe minimum of minimum 3 rupees, and it can go up to 10 rupees.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is what is our plan. We want to help the industry, we want to help the mother nature by being very conservative into making profits, but definitely we will make good profits even with that kind of money.
Okay, so let's say your revenue is somewhere between 3 and 10 rupees,
Yeah.
and your cost of processing a liter would be 2 rupees or 1
rupees
rupee.
or so, yeah.
Okay, so let's say 2 rupee margin that you keep. Okay, 3 minus 1. Then what is the capacity of that plant to process? How many liters can it process?
See, this plant which is coming up in Tarapur is 6 lakh liters. But the real projects 17 projects we are talking about, every project is 24 lakh liters of water per day.
Okay, per day.
Per day.
Okay.
So, even if you take 2 rupees, okay, where you have maybe crores of liters of water every day. 4-5 rupees kind of a water, there are crores of liters of water available at every JIDC. Okay, because if we I've taken an example that I'm putting such a plant in Saikha. Only 3 or 4 industries, if I say SRF, BASF, GNFC, or Deepak Group, these 4 can give me more water than 24 lakh liters per day kind of a thing, because they generate that much of water. And they have their plants, those who can treat this water. But if you are able to give them 4 charana, 8 आना कम में दे रहे हैं, so that would be a greater advantage to the industry because your manpower is gone. And right now, if you go to any industry, you will find much more intelligent engineers and everybody taking care of the effluent water than really doing the production activities. Because their production is set, but the treatment of water is not there. So that is where we come in. We take their load, they have peace of mind, and they can look onto their expansion plans. They can look in for some other activities. Okay, the team or the power can be used somewhere else.
Understood. Yeah. Understood. So that means 2,500 crore that you're planning to do, and this plant will be operational from Feb or March, correct?
This my Tarapur would be Feb or March 1st week max.
Okay. You've not. I don't know if you answered. Maybe I missed out on it. This land for the first project you've acquired.
We already have everything is ours. Land,
okay,
building, the equipments. They are all owned by
ours
us.
Meaning in your promoter's name or the company's name?
Company's name.
Company's name. Okay, fine. And what is your plan? Like this effluents from the chemical factories, they'd be coming in tankers or pipes, or how will it be transported?
See, like the nearby industries can have a piping because it's an everyday thing which they need to transport. So piping is always easier. And if they are far away, then that can be brought in through tankers.
Okay, excellent. And so what I notice is in your traditional business currently, whatever revenue is coming, it's mostly receivables. Like there are more receivables on your books than the revenue of financial year 2024. So how does the receivables payables cycle work for these solar thermal concentrators that you currently do?
See, if you see the overall receivables which you see, which was a worry to us also, and that is also hindering our growth. Right now, it has come down to 20 odd crores from 42 crores.
Okay.
Okay, so that is under control now. The left outs are some of the businesses which we did before 2020. So it is older than 3-4 years now. So that we are writing off in this quarter.
Bad debt.
Bad debt, we are writing it off in this quarter.
Okay.
Without compromising onto our profits. Okay.
Sorry, what is the amount that you're going to write down?
3 to 3.5 crores we are writing off.
Okay.
This quarter. And the left outs are what? The things which we have to come from Andhra Pradesh. And in few of the projects, we have given some bank guarantees. We have given, maybe a warranty period of a year. In some projects, like 75% work has been done, something is left out. So that money is the rest.
Okay.
So we are under control now, which was, before 2 quarters, it was a worry even to us, because we were, stuck with the Andhra Pradesh project. And, when your 30, 40 crores are stuck with such a small company, it is always a, but now we have come out, everything is smooth. And now the focus is again on power build on operate plants.
So last two questions. You said Andhra Pradesh, because on your presentations I saw Andeti project that you've got for 230 crores.
See, Andhra Pradesh, basically there is a Pottudur district, which
Okay.
which is into a YSR district kind of a thing, which is called. So there, half of the town, Pottudur, is done by mega engineering, and half of the town is being done by
Done what? What do you do?
this water infrastructure.
Okay, like the irrigation pipes.
Everything,
what?
everything. From the water which you take it from the ground or surface,
Okay.
you transport it to the tanks.
Okay.
From tanks it goes to the homes.
Okay.
From homes they are utilized, and then the sludge is being generated or sewage is being generated. Treating that sewage,
Okay.
till that the complete project we are doing it.
Understood.
So
Understood.
it's a complete water infrastructure project. It is an EPC,
Okay.
engineering, procurement, and doing the construction.
Got it. And you're doing for that entire town, which
Town,
is Korattur
exactly.
in Andhra Pradesh.
Right.
Okay. And you basically acquire the pipes from a player and you
Everything,
do
everything
the,
is your is more engineering and installation work. So it is kind of an EPC kind of a project.
Okay.
Where there is no technology as such. There is no brain to be used. Okay. The pipe should be 4 feet bottom to the earth level, and it should be having that gravity. It should go with the pump, and these all things have to be taken care of. Rest, like nothing as such.
So that
And
means
that is the worst project we did ever. We will never be taking any EPC projects anymore.
that was my next question.
Yeah. So we are never ever. This is because we have so many things of our own.
Yeah.
Why but at that time there was a demand from the investors. Okay, sir, आपका order book नहीं है, आपका ये नहीं है. So that is why we, jumped into an EPC thing where it was very easy. When we took this order, our total turnover was 19 crores
For the year. Okay.
last year. From 46 a year ahead, it was 19.
Okay.
So at that time we took this order. Nobody can take a 19 crore turnover company, cannot take a 235 crore kind of a thing. But it was a smooth journey. We got some good contacts and we took it. Okay. But then the problem was that God didn't wanted us to smile, because immediately the elections came in. Then the government got changed. So that was a blessing in disguise, what we call it. Okay. We have learned a hard way.
Okay.
That EPCs are not for us. It's more about doing what we are experts into.
Understood. Because that was my next question. You focused on many areas. You said firstly the solar concentrators, then you said the 3 patents
Solar
that you
is
got.
basically my, passion. Everything happened around, okay? Just that, you feel that the market is for me. Same thing was with water. I was having no experience into solar thermal, but I got 70% of the market share. If you see even in the water, we have the largest portfolio. I can guarantee you in the world also you can say that. You compare it with any company. We have 9 technologies from Bhabha Atomic Research Center. We have something for sewage, which is under patent. We have something for the CETPs. Okay. Everything, everywhere, the cost, the innovation and everything is there. And the treatment cost is less than 50%. Which the technologies which we have patented.
Got it.
So what you say is right, that we have hands on so many technologies, but you should have a portfolio, or you should have products down the line for the next 10 years. Okay, we are not bothered about that somebody comes in and what will happen to our technology. Because it is your own. You are also developing with time. You are also bringing in the best which is required into the market. So we say that, okay, or I say per se, my own, what people think about me, I don't care that much. But what I care is that, my team has that much of product line. So as I told you again, drinking, non-hazardous waters, hazardous waters, and the worst waters, which did not have any technology till date, we have a portfolio. Okay, we have a platform. Now we require to fire the products, and then if you see my office, we have different verticals, and we have a CEO who is going to take care of the different portfolios which will be allotted to different people, different departments, and it can be easily treated or it can be easily done. I don't feel that we have so much of things to be done, because it is more water. If you see, for me, I want to give a statement, okay? You don't take me as a hazardous wastewater treatment company. You take me as something which we can do separation, any separation. You take me something for recovery. Whatever you want to recover from anything, you can recover. And you can do concentration with our technology. If you see any industry, these are only the three processes. You see dairies, for me milk is water. So if you see dairy application, I can remove, say, lactose from milk 100%. There is no milk which is 100% free from lactose. I can do it. Okay, I can make paneer which is 100% lactose free, 100% fat free. We already, one patent is that also. For me, sugarcane juice is water. Right? So if you see overall, the company is getting expert into these three fields. And you can do n number of applications. It's not only hazardous wastewater. But why build or operate plants for hazardous wastewater? Because the industry is starving for it. Okay? There's a huge demand. I have seen that pain onto the bosses, not the HSE officers, but the bosses, those who are running the companies. Okay? We have met the bosses of PI, we have met the bosses of Aarti, we have met so many people, And they are so much worried about, because they want to expand, they want to put up more, they have so many ideas, but they do not have treatment.
Understood.
So that is where you fall in. So we said, okay, take a painful area where it is an easy business for us. For people, it may be a harder business. For us, it is an easy business. So what we did is we cyclostyle one plant. It's a standard plant. One copy, you make it and you just Xerox it. So the production is never a problem. You can have n number of plants installed as soon as you want. So we have standardized that. So once it comes into the autonomous mode, the solvent recovery comes in. Then the sugar manufacturing process comes in. We are standardizing the plant sizes also. Okay, even in sugar, we say 500 TCD, 1000 TCD, 1500 TCD, 5000 TCD. So it's a standard model. So once that is standardized, then it is, is on the autonomous mode.
Got it.
Yeah,
Got it.
so that is what we do.
So we have well past the time limit of 50 minutes. Okay. I wanted to ask you more about your journey. Can you quickly condense your entire journey? Okay. You are age 61 now.
Yeah.
So what did you study? What did you do first?
Okay, I did my electrical engineering in 86.
Okay.
Then, any entrepreneur will do, we started the easiest of the business, which was for voltage stabilizers, which were installed onto the refrigerators, air conditioners. In 90s, I got along with a foreign company, which is UIC GmbH for short part distillation plants. That is very high vacuum technology, which is the highest of the vacuum technology in the world. And there, we learned about the chemistry, because that was, used for tocopherols, that was used for heat sensitive materials. There was no technology at that time. That was the only company making it. That was also a patented product. So we have hands-on onto a lot many refineries, lot many industries. After some time, the whole Asia market was with me.
Okay.
So that also, gave us exposure to different countries, different languages, different kind of businesses. Then in 2007, people started manufacturing in India. So that business was gone. In 2008-9, I came across with this solar thermal technology. One of the systems was installed at Shirdi, Sai Baba Mandir. There I saw first time the food being cooked without a flame. So that was very, fanatic to me.
Okay.
So I immediately, started working onto this. Then we had a company which was manufacturing in Valsad. We became their associate director. We marketed their products. came to know about this technology. But at that time it was used only for few applications of cooking only, nothing else. Then we developed many applications. We did some businesses with defense. We did some businesses with a lot of industrial houses. We did it with Vedanta for evaporation of wastewater. In 2010, in couple of years, there was some misunderstandings and other things. So we started our own company. From 2010 to 2020, we were the market leaders, as I told you. And rest of the things, you know it.
Yes. Excellent. So thank you very much. And what you're doing is great, I would say. First in the world with this technology and going into different applications. You've got orders, you have a sizable order book, and you're talking with the largest MNCs in the world to purify their effluents.
Right.
So I really appreciate the time you've taken to speak to us, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.